Welcome back again to the 6th video of my 30-day reflection challenge. I've been doing this since the start of April, and if you're new, that's the only reason I'm starting off like that. If you're new to this, I've been doing this since the start of April. I just document, record, and talk about moments in my life where I've learned and grown, or had some mistakes or concerns, advice that was given to me, and so on and so forth. If you want to join the challenge, just read the description and, or just listen and understand that in these 30 days, what I want you to do is just to reflect upon your life, past, present, or future. If you don't want to make a video like me, if you don't want to post on social media about something personal, write it down in your notes, in a journal, whatever diary. Keep it personal, keep it to yourself, but keep it real. And if not, do that, share it with somebody. Talk to someone, friend, family member, boyfriend, girlfriend, whoever you got. Excuse me. So, I want to talk about potential in this video real quick. Potential deep within you, deep within me, deep within all of us. The inner us, who we are when we're the most confident, when we're the most free, when we're not bound by stress and worn out by life and problems that we may have, ones that we can't control and we can't control. Potential gets blocked many times. I just want to talk about when I started to realize my own, the help that I got, how I achieved that, the ups and downs, ins and outs, all those kind of things. Try to keep it around 15 minutes, like these other videos. I just want to start by saying this, and that is that if there's one thing we know about humanity, for those of us who do read, who do pay attention, who do study anything, we know that humans have unknown potential, endless potential to be and do anything and go anywhere. It just may take time, it may take decades, centuries for certain things to happen, but there's always something new in this world to be discovered about humans alone, aside from nature and animals and science. That's an ever-growing thing, but us as people is also an ongoing thing, and we always find things, especially thanks to social media and video footage and whatnot. We always find things that humans manage to come up with, manage to discover endless times over and over and over again. And with that being said, one of the times that I want to share is that, like, being in high school, right? I always like to center my videos and refer to middle school, high school, and my present. One, because I'm pretty young. Two, because I think it's important whenever you talk about your life with anyone, or when you think to yourself, you got to think in order. Try to organize your thoughts. And it's important to do that because as you talk, you will see your own growth. If you've never done it, the moment you finally do it, you will see the pattern of your own growth and your own thinking as you go in order, if you don't know it already. But for me, I'm just going to jump into high school, which is like, I always knew that coming out of middle school and a little bit of elementary school, I always knew I was a great reader. I always knew I could write. I always knew, I had the potential to be funny to some people, get attention, be in front of a group of people and not be super scared, not all the time, And one key moment was when I was in 11th grade, right? History class, U.S. history. We had to present our history fair projects. I did mine on Malcolm X. I was reading the autobiography at the time, and my history teacher, Mr. Kasky, shout out. I know you'd be watching my stuff. He was just like, yo, I see you reading the Malcolm X autobiography. Let's make it easy, and let's just do your history fair project on that. Since you already started, why not? And if y'all don't know, most of us do know that Malcolm X isn't like heavily talked about. You cover him in schools, but you don't really stay on it. Regardless of that point, when I did my presentation, right, not to put any of my classmates down at the time or anything like that, but when I did my presentation, my mom helped me hook it up, blah, blah, blah. I was nice board, all that stuff. I was super confident. Like, I knew that I knew my information. I didn't even have to really look at it. And one thing they teach us in school you know, or should have taught you if you've been out of school or whatnot. But one thing we stress when you in school, or that is stressed at we, is that when you do a presentation, you know, you shouldn't have to keep looking at the screen. You shouldn't have to keep referring back to your notes. You should be able to talk about what you know and what you've researched confidently without having to go back and double check something, right? And at that time for that presentation, right, I was wrecking it, right? And I realized after I sat down, because I had went like first, and then as I sat down and I realized how many other presentations that went after me that was just bad, they weren't confident, they didn't know what they was talking about, they wasn't really sure, they was scared, they was nervous, and you could see it all over their face. And I just watched them do it, and I compared it to myself, and I realized, like, man, you know, now I see what teachers used to talk to me about, like, you know, you're a good reader, you know how to express yourself, but I didn't always feel like that outwardly. I didn't always feel like that. But other people can see things on you that you can, which speaks to potential that I'm talking about here in general. When you have a lot of potential, right, whether you know it or not, it's written on your face, it's written in the way you talk, it's written in the way you walk, and whatever kind of work you do, when you have a lot of potential, it's always there, no matter what you do, whether you want to accept it or not, or whether you know it or not. And just using that point, right, that's a small thing. Then I'm going to jump to 12th grade. Because 12th grade, you know, I didn't really, you know, I messed up a lot. Skipped school, skipped a lot of classes, didn't do a lot of work, didn't do my homework. So I had to make up stuff. And I had to do an accelerated program in 12th grade. And, you know, that's a whole nice story of its own. But in that program, they pushed me to learn how to access my leadership and, you know, leadership skills and be a leader and not be worried about what other people are doing and what they're saying, and, you know, don't be afraid to be different from everybody else. And I was never really afraid, but I was never thinking about doing it in that way, of expressing myself in the way that they helped me do. And I can say till this day, if I haven't had some of the people that work in the school to push me and talk to me every day and try to get me to do the best that I can do, even today, being honest, I wouldn't even be trying as hard as I would now, right? I wouldn't even have a vision or an idea what leadership feels like, what it should look like, what it should be like. And even while I was doing that, I was still letting my doubts and my second guesses and my fears and little insecurities and things get the best of me. But by the end of the school year, I felt like a completely different person. I felt great because I was really just being me. I know other students didn't like it. I know some people felt like, oh, you acting different now, blah, 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 because you know, you like a part of student government and all that stuff. You know how that stuff goes. And as we know, that translates to real life. When you have friends or people you hang around and you on the same playing field as them, they cool with you or they don't pay you no mind. But the moment you step up and you start to be somebody else, you start to be who you might not even be somebody else. As soon as you start being and start moving how you really feel and how you really think, all of a sudden, people treat you differently. And let me just say that the potential feels great when you finally unlock it. Now, I know today, speak about the now. We out of high school now. We speaking about today. I know now personally, like, trying to work on college, trying to work on, you know, saving money, like the rest of everybody else is who isn't trying to do all these things. But for me, it's like, I get angry because I've had decisions that could have been made better. I wish I had more help. I wish I had this and that. A lot of people do. But just speaking about myself, I wish I had those things because I know my potential is so much higher and so much more. I don't even know exactly what it is or why or when I'm supposed to apply these potential sometimes, but I know it's there and I've come to terms with it. And then when I have opportunities to do it, oh shoot, I'm doing it. One thing I know, like, if anybody ever asks me to do a presentation or to speak in front of a group about something, give me a little second to get my stuff together and I'm out and I got it, hands down. Like, I have no problem with that, zero. And I think, and that's always been one of my strengths, been one of my talents, but I didn't always know it. I didn't always know how to use it. So, as you can see, for some of you whoever it is that you are watching, right, and some of you who know me personally, me making these videos, you know, and when I look back on things as the years go by, or people talk to me about me making my videos and whatnot, you know, you speak so well. Oh, you know, you sound good. You ever think about writing a book? you trying to be a motivational speaker, all that. And it's like, sometimes I used to always say yeah, but then I'm like, nah. But then it's like, that's just what's there. And whether you like to admit it or not, that's just what's there. I'm not saying I'm a motivational speaker, but I have the voice for that. I have the energy for that. And, you know, even when I'm out here working with the kids, working with community, teenagers, things like that, you know, I always remember, like, man, if I was them, I would have wanted somebody to speak to me, you know, and say great things sooner. I would have wanted that. So I can only imagine now, especially with all that's going on in the city of Philadelphia, in society, and in the country in general, and in the world, right? More kids need it more than ever. More grown men and women need it more than ever. So every chance you get, every chance I get to do better, say something, speak up, or educate and share knowledge, whether it be right or wrong, just not, even if it's not the best information, but just to be able to be confident to put it forward so someone else can learn, that's important. And we can already close it out on that, because there's not really much to say here for me, but so much I don't want to drag it. But the point is, for you, whoever's listening, whoever watching, you know, right, there's something about you, in you, that's great. And it's corny. People say this stuff all the time. Oh, you gotta find yourself. Oh, you know, all these videos I heard and things like that. You gotta unlock yourself. You gotta do this. You gotta dig deep within. All that crazy crap, right? It's funny, but like, it's true, because I don't work nowhere. I don't work anywhere that I'm not happy. I'm not working there, period. I don't care about, like, money matters and all that stuff. I'm not gonna sit there and act like it don't, but I'm not working anywhere that I don't feel comfortable with. If I can't drag myself to work and have a greater reason for being there, or find a deeper reason past the money, I don't want to be there. That's me. But too many people will stay at a job because they scared to risk anything, will be scared to, you know, sacrifice the convenient schedule or the people that they got to know, and they don't leave. You know, and that's fine if that's what you truly want. But there's people who really want to do more, be more, see more, hear more, but they can't because they're too scared to do anything about it. So even now, I'll be having conversations with my friends, my girlfriend, you know, with coworkers about what's the next step that I plan on doing with myself in the next couple of years, or just next year alone. And the more I had this conversation, the more the year go on, I started realizing, like, man, I know I could do a lot more. I know I have a lot more to give, a lot more to show, a lot more to say. And if I had a little bit more privilege, power, say so, things like that, I'd probably feel more better. So to close that out, for real, half the time when you feel stressed out at work and you don't like it, a lot of time, for those of us who aren't really in tune with how we feel, a lot of the time it's because you know you don't want to be there. You know that you deserve better. You should be doing better. And dead end, lose jobs that don't care about you and you don't care about it, and you get up out of there. And there's hobbies you got to find for yourself. You got to find activities. You got to find things to do that actually feed you and give you life, right? And that's my little rant on potential. So hopefully you enjoyed that. Hopefully you've unlocked your potential at some point. If not, you will get there. Just keep trying. Thanks for listening. Like, share, comment, subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube, I guess. And wait for the next video.